welcome back. Another drama, another episode. See what we can make of this one. As I said previously, yeah, it's not going to be a lot sort of happening. Try and grab a few hours each day or whenever I can do it. You got a few other things happening. One of my followers commented, he said, well, you know, why don't you show it on your channel? It's not secret stuff, but I thought about that, and it's like, I'll try and keep this video just purely on the content of the truck at the moment. It's not about my personal life or what I do outside during the day. It's not very entertaining stuff. So at the moment I'll focus on the truck, and if the channel keeps going, yeah, I might evolve and turn it into something else, but for now we'll just focus on this. But I appreciated the comment and I did give it some thought. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the channel in the sense trying to get big followers and become a big YouTuber, as I've talked about previously. I'm just showing my progress, and for those who wish to follow and watch what I do, I appreciate it. So I'm just going to try and unclip you off something here. You get the rattles. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So in my last upload you saw that my boy had been working on the wheels, so he's lost interest in that a bit, but it's all good. I've had a bit of a go at them, so I give them 10%. That's about what they are. Now, unlike most people, I've watched other YouTubers and done a bit of research. I realise equipment wise what they use to bring these back to utter showroom condition. I am not going to go out and purchase that equipment to do that. I just don't have the need for it later on, and I'm not after that type of finish. It's just not me. So all I've got is my little air tool here, which is a finishing tool. I realise it's not going to bring these wheels back to, you know, a glamour finish. Something you have to understand with these rims, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I have an old screwdriver here, I can poke in there. These are severely damaged, these rims, in the sense they've got some deep marks in them. So you'll be there standing for a long time to get all that out. You wouldn't be much left of the rims, you'll be getting pretty thin. So, I mean, obviously, if you didn't have those deep marks, you would sand out the normal stone indentations in there, I assume. It's something I might come back to later on and attack them. It's something I can just do. I can wheel the truck in here and just work on it later on. It's not going to affect the performance of it. And from a great distance, they look great. Now, I have sanded the other side of the dish for the inside of the dish on the wheel. They were really, really bad. So I attacked those, and yeah, I'm going to keep working at those a bit more. I'm not trying to get them polished up. I just wanted to get rid of the real nasty stuff on there. There was a bit of everything. Wasn't good. So what I turned the camera on for is, well, product wise, I'm just using this Autosol. I realise it's all finishing stuff. None of that's a cutting compound, not like the guys use with those big wheels and what they do. I'm just going to sit my sander somewhere. So my young fellow was buffing away here, and he goes, it's like it's all frosted, Dad. And I got down and had a look at it, and I realised what I've done. I've waved the sandblaster over them because I left these on the front. I just didn't put my brain in gear. I should have taken them off and put my steels on the front when I took the truck out to blast it, and it wouldn't have mattered what I did then. But I just, yeah, first time call it, learnt my lesson. So today, and the other ones, obviously these are the fronts we're looking at here. Obviously this one's the same, it's just got it. So it hasn't got real deep marks in it like the inners, the dish on the other side on the rears. And these are genuine Peterbilt rims, these. For you truck nuts out there, you should have realised that those other ones are Freightliner rims. But I'm all good with that, it doesn't worry me. I mean, they're still probably out there if I had to get another rim. At least I can match them up. I actually do have one off my other Freightliner, an older style. So I'm lucky there. So today I ended up in town last thing, got another fluffy wheel, so that's going to be kept just for polish on the cab. I'm not obviously putting aluminium on that. and they're really good to me in it where I deal at the paint shop. I said to them, you haven't got some boxes where people have raided stuff out of them and, you know, got part discs left in them, and they're like, yeah, that happens all the time. So we just grabbed this off the shelf, and so there's a couple of 400s, which I realise is pretty aggressive, and then the rest, you can see the colour difference. These are these 800s. So yeah, I'm just going to try it. You can only go wrong. Don't really worry me. I don't cry about these things if it's not right. So I'm going to run a bit of 800 on here, and I'll bring you back, and I'll be honest. I'll show you the failure or the success, and just have a go. I know there's people probably watching this screaming at it going, no, don't do that on there, use such and such product, but I'm working with what I've got. Yeah, I'm just not going to throw a lot of money at all this. It's a truck, it's not a show truck. It's just something I'm going to get going and go and buy an ice cream on a Sunday with it. It's be about the limit. It may pull the transporter, as I've talked about. Might do a few odd little things with it, but it's not my number one priority. And yeah, I will find a bit of deck plate for the back. I haven't done anything about that. My other project out here is eating up a bit of time, so yeah, I'll just try and grab a bit of this either early in the morning or late at night. Right, we'll have a go at sanding, and I'll let you know. I don't think the camera is going to pick much up on here. So the centerpiece, I hit that with a bit of 240, and then yeah, stepped up to my 8. Still very marked. I don't know how much you got to take off to get rid of that. Feels smooth, but it's just got like marks within the aluminium. No idea, like you got that there. Quite a big scratch on there. Never going to win. Whether I've got that, yeah, I think I can feel my sanding marks. Could be a disaster yet. I'm just going to try a little bit of polish on part of it just to see how much it's going to take and what it's going to show. If I've got marks on there, I'll have to try and figure out how to get those out. I'm just showing what I do. I know there's people out there who do this for a living, and they'll be laughing just like I laugh at other things I watch, but it'll be alright. I can't hear them, so I'll survive. Alright, I'll do a bit of polish, and yeah, I'll show you. Review time. I'll bring you in close a minute. That one's done. That one's not sanded. I know the camera doesn't pick it up. I'll take you in real close. It's certainly cut it a fair bit, but I can see the swirl marks from the 800 grit paper. It's pretty obvious that, yeah, if you wanted a show finish, they got to go in a proper sanding machine and be buffed out, I'd say. But as you all learnt by now, if you've been following me from day one, I'm not after that type of finish. Not on this truck. I don't build show trucks. I don't build trucks full stop. I just, yeah, put them together, put the bolts in, make it look like a truck again, as long as it makes some noise. Yeah, this one here, not a bad sort of finish on there, but you can certainly see all the scratch marks. I know the camera's not really picking it up. So the sanding did take a lot of that out. So I've taken the scratch marks out of all different angles on an older one, and then I've gone and put a different type of scratch mark on it with the sanding. It's not bad though, but that's only had one buff with the compound. So if you get another 3, and it would probably cut it a bit more, it would only get better. It's not going to get any worse. So I've proven to myself that I can sand them, and I can get them to the point from a distance while you walk past it eating an ice cream somewhere going, oh, look at that truck. It would pass from way back here. I mean, it's like everything when you're sanding the cab and painting and then working around the rivets. You're just looking at everything only a couple of 100 mil, couple of inches from your face all day, and you just see all the imperfections. But in general, you stand back, and when that's outside in the sunshine with a few more polishes, I think we'll pass. Certainly makes a difference when you sand it. I can see it on camera. You can just about pick it up through there. You can see the colour difference in the rim. Certainly does work. I'll do the other one, and then I might have a look at the inners. So these were really bad. I know the light's crap here with a camera like this. These were really bad on the inside, being the front steerers. I just want to tidy the dishes up, so they're sort of semi-presentable as a rim. I know I can't sand that in there. It'll just rip the paper off the wheel. I might just give it a hand rub, and then I'll polish it, and I know that'll bring it up a bit. That's the last thing on my list. Got a long way to go. It's just one of those things that come out early in the morning or late at night, and there we go. It's pretty late here now. Everyone's getting grumpy I'm not inside. Alright, I won't bore you anymore. Next little venture. Done all the wheel nuts. All 60 of them. I buffed them on the buffing wheel here. I'll minus a bit of skin on my finger, but I got there eventually. I come up with a better technique. Don't know where I threw it. I'll see if I can find it over here. I'm a slow learner. After I lost a bit of skin and decided it was going to hurt, and I was only about 10 into it, I went and found another stud. Incorrect thread, but worked out perfect. It goes on a couple of turns and obviously grabs. So yeah, I use that, and I just on my buffing wheel there. So I buffed them up. I want to paint them. Now I realise, just throw that back. I realise painting them, and then you go to do them up and torque them, yeah, you'll chip all the paint off. But I've going to put some wheel nut covers on them. Plastic chrome or even steel chrome, I don't know, whatever I can find out there. Be some cheap and nasty thing. But I just want to prime them, and then I'll probably chuck some paint on them to just try and protect them a bit. So I'll do that. I'm doing this pretty late in the evening here. Most people are going to bed, but not me. I come out the shop for a couple of hours. You can sleep when you're dead. That's the way I view things. Get a lot done while you're got your eyes open. So I run the, I had another nut. I realised I actually ended up with a couple of spares a few years ago. I ended up with a box of bits from where this truck come from, actually, with one of our trailers. He was throwing them out, and yeah, there's lots of nuts and bolts, and there was a couple of spare nuts. So that was actually brand new. I was going to cut some slots in it and make a bit of a die nut out of it, but the threads are pretty good on these. I'll buff them first. I did with my my purple wheel on my air tool, pretty aggressive, and then I just spun the nut on with the impact hammer, but it wasn't even impacting. It was just spun them straight on and off with a bit of lube on there. So I've done that axle. And I suppose it's another job I can do tonight is put the wheels on. My boy helped me mount the other wheel last night. I've blown that up. It's holding pressure, so I can mount that. I'm not in a hurry to put the wheels on, because something else will need to be done in there, and realise I need the wheel off. So I'm not in a real hurry. No one can steal it while it's on blocks either. Stops me driving it. Right, I'll try and set those nuts up because I want to get those prepped so I can get some wheels back on this beast. A selection of wheel nuts, primed and painted. At least to be able to find them now when they're on the side of the road somewhere and the wheel's falling off. I know they'll chip when we do them up, but I'm not worried about that. It's going to stop the corrosion factor. Not that we get the corrosion as I've talked about everywhere else, but yeah, they were pretty ugly. We'll see how they go. We'll put them on and do them up, and then I'll put the covers over them. As usual, been working away here and thinking, I need to turn the camera on. So what I've been doing is, I'll take you around the other side. I've made these caps. They're a bit of chrome ram. They got bent. on a machine or something, and I just picked the spare up one day thinking I might make something out of that. So I have. I've cut it into pieces and I've made these caps, and I'll show you what they're for. I'll just grab my tools here and go for a walk. So yeah, it's been a few days since I've done anything on this out here. It's pretty late in the evening here, and it's cold. Not warm at all out here in the shop at the moment. Right, to show you what I've done with those caps. Sorry, the camera went flat, so I went and put it on charge. I put them over the centre bolts on the springs. Yeah, just to protect the nuts and the threads from rubbish sitting in there again. I probably should have filled them with grease actually, those caps, and then put them on, but yeah, it's better than the dirt sitting around them if it ever gets in there. So I've done that, all four are done, and the other thing I've done is, obviously the camera is charging, I've gone and put the tyres on the back axle. So those ones are on to stay. They're not torqued up yet. I've just done them up hand tight. May have to come off again for another reason, I hope not. But they're the correct size, and tread wise, yep, they're in good condition. They're near new recaps those. So they'll be right on the truck. I'm hoping they stay on. Don't have to take them off again. And then the other thing I've done is I'll try and stand back a little bit. Since I've got the tyres on, I've got to chuck some air in the truck. So we've got a few inches, probably nearly 4 inches on the flaps there, clearance. Not quite, close to it. It's looking pretty good. And yeah, the front wheels are still, still sitting on blocks, but it's pretty close to wheel height. I mean, all I did was take them off and put some timber under there and hardly let the jack down. And the frame's sitting nearly dead level, so it's pretty good. Obviously I'll fine tune that once the front wheels are on and correct tyres and all that. You've got another axle to go here yet. I'm just waiting on some tyres. These are, sorry, it's all upside down for you. They're 295s by 75 by 22.5, so yeah, incorrect tyre size. Some people said you can run them, but yeah, no, big difference in diameter of the tyre. Might be due to the recap, how much they took off and what they did when they capped it, but I'll just hang on to those casings. I got a Tipulator trailer. Yeah, I mean, they just run on an axle on that and chew them out if I want. Doesn't really matter. Tyres are old. There's a rule here in New Zealand, I stand to be corrected on this, but I think any casing over 10 years old can't be recapped. Something they bought in a while ago. Yeah. I mean, these are old anyway. I'm running a risk even running them, but we'll see how they go. It's only my ice cream truck, so it's going to be light. Not going to put heavy loads on it. Be lucky if it even gets out the shop for another 6 months, 8 months before it goes anywhere. We're rolling into winter slowly here. So I just shift this other tyre so I can stand in here. The other thing I've done is a bit of a cheapskate. I made all this bracket up, as you would have seen, and I found an air line. It was actually an air line off an air hose. It was in a cab for a blowgun. I had some fittings, so I've just chucked that in there. I mean, the line's dead, obviously, unless you're going to operate the fifth wheel. And I'll probably never move it. I'll try it, make sure it's not going to blow itself to pieces. It doesn't seem brittle, it seems alright. Creased it and banged it, but yeah, I'll put some air in it from the truck. Actually, just as I say, heat the truck up. We'll see if it holds. See what it does overnight. Yeah, unfortunately, I've just put my light down, but I'll show you a little bit. Made a battery box clamp, piece of aluminium. Got that through there and got the bolts down inside the battery box down into there, and that, so hopefully that works all right. See how it goes. I'll do a bit of fine tuning on that. Yep. Battery box lid's obviously sitting up there. They're done. What else? As I say, I haven't done very much on it at all. It's pretty late at night here now. Any time I get at the moment. Oh, and yeah, my brother turned up, had this for me. Bit of a fluke, laying in a yard where he works. So yeah, I've ended up with a another deck plate, and luckily it's the same pattern as what's on the truck currently. So I'll modify all that. I'll do some drawings on it, figure out where I'm going to. It's unfolded the edge on this one. My one on the truck's currently folded, but I'll just, yeah, I'll figure that out whether I want to do a fold or just sit it straight on the chassis. It's only at the back. So here's my other one, which I painted, I've shown previously. So yeah, it's all folded, multiple cutouts to go over the brackets on the rails and that. I'll just have to, I'm not sure how I can fold it successfully. Be pretty tough to, I might just try a piece. I've got a few offcuts, I'll see if I can do a fold. It'll probably tear, no my luck. I don't have a big enough press to put that into fold. I'm really not worried if it hadn't got a fold on it. Just sit on there. Time the fenders go on there, it's only a real, I mean it's obviously an offcut I've got sitting on there at the moment. It's only a real short piece, and then you got the angle to deal with anyway. So if you put that on there, you still got to muck around and cut that angle to allow for the fold. A lot of work for nothing, I think. Might be just a straight one go on there. As I say, when the fenders are on and they're right down here, you actually won't see any of that. I'll sleep on that one. So I'm waffling on. I think I'll pull the camera up for the end of the day here. She hasn't changed up there. Haven't done anything on it. Window people haven't turned up. I did tell them no hurry, but it's been just over a week now. So I'll get a couple. If we get a rain day, can't work on my other project, I'll give them a call and see if they come out. All right, I'll put you down. Checker plate time. All right, grabbed an hour or so this afternoon. Did a lot of measuring, and I was hoping to use this plate and get enough length out of it this way, which is 85 mil, 33.5 inches, and cut that, and then width-wise that would be right, and I'll put the folds on the sides, which would make this here for me, do the folds, but yeah, nah, short by 2 inches to go on the truck. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I want it to go from, it'll go from this up here, roughly, because it'll go up under here, and then it'll come right down the back here, and shift my dirty rags, and it'll come along here, and I want to follow this line, and I want to sit it in here and utilize these little bolts here from out of my electrical plug underneath. I'll just cut out and put a nut on top or do something, and just use those to hold it down. So yeah, short by 2 inches if I go right up the front, which would bring me, yeah, to where the end of the tape is. So yeah, it's quite a no good. It doesn't work. And obviously if I decided to bring it down to this end and leave 2 inches up here, gonna have a 2 inch 50 mil gap up this end, which don't really want. So yeah, it'll be on with no folds. You won't see it because time the fenders go on here, they hide all this anyway. It's only this little bit just here. Not worried about it. The other piece was a real annoyance with the fold in it anyway. Had to cut out to go over all the brackets, and I messed that up really when I sit and look at it. It's on now, live with it. Time you walk on it and scratch it and dent it. I mean, this plate's full of holes. It's well used, but I was pleased I got it. It suits the truck, everything's well used on it. My thoughts are here, I'm probably going to put some coach bolts in here, and I'll just do them up tight, so I'm not going to use these holes. And when I paint it, it'll just, yeah, add coach bolt heads in there, be nice and round heads. It'll look alright, that'll fill the holes. So I've marked across there where I'm going to cut it. Hard to see the line. So it's a nice day outside. I'm going to go out and smash that off because aluminium in here, hate it. Right, I'll go and cut this and do some more measuring and recut, and I'll do a test fit. Right, we're on to the checker plate. Doing the bend. my digger just walked past the workshop and I thought, no, I don't want that. We'll be right. Soft, easy to bend. No, it's not. So I've got the jack under there, sitting on an angle iron, and we're trying to put the bend in it. Hold that down there, you might be able to see. We've got a bit in it. My press isn't wide enough for it to fit in. So, if this doesn't work, I'll release it, and if it doesn't work, I'll attack it with the digger tomorrow. It's got a blade, you just sit the blade on it and lift the other end with a bucket. Got a bit of a bend in it. See what it does. Don't think we've got the correct profile. Yeah, might be right. I think personally the bend's in the wrong place. Alright, take the clamp off. Have a gander. Hold that side. Up under there pretty. Yeah, I knew the bend was in the wrong place. Gotta love it.
Cut some off the end.
Yeah, I'll cut a bit off the other end. Gotta love it, don't you? Yeah, I knew that was bending in the wrong place.
Silly truck people.
Gotta love a try. Yeah, didn't want to recut the other end. Oh, now we've got to figure out how much to cut off. And there's my cutout. Tried to draw underneath and follow the line. Never was very good at doing that stuff. But I'll make a bracket like I did on the other one, just to go under here, in case we ever get up and stand on it. I'll put something through and drill and nut that slider, and it comes back to here, the bar from up there. So that'll be fine. I'll put some rubber on the back of this where it's sitting on the rail. I'll show you what I've done here. I used my light junction box underneath, the mountings for that. The nuts are still under there. Let's put some washers over there and put those on. So, simple fixture. Everything's got to be crescent or shifter friendly. On the side of the road, you want to get it apart. I don't want no special locking mechanisms. Right, we're on to demounting the rest of the tyres. Why am I doing it? I might have already explained it. These are 295s, 75 by 22.5s obviously. So yeah, wrong radius, wrong diameter. So I've got Mr. Alex over here. He's got my dummy nut, and he's just spinning that on to the studs and on and off a little bit, just to clean them up. Just obviously you can't get die nuts easily. Quite complicated threads on studs when you read a bit. Anyway, that's alright, that's been on and off real easy. Because you lost the nut. Alright, show you what I'm up to here. We've got an oil pressure light issue going on the cab. Start the truck and the light won't go out. It's got a manual gauge, so we've got oil pressure. So I replaced this down on the engine, put a new one on. So that talks to the ECM, I think, and I've checked all the omens through wiring and that. And it appears to be the wiring's correct, and it's talking to all this down on the engine. I didn't even muck around with this one. I just chucked it in here and put a new one in the truck. So the next thing I'm doing is on the oil feed pipe up to the manual gauge. This is your pressure switch here for the wiring to activate the light in the cab. So I've done an omens through it, and yeah, it goes off. And I was thinking, how can I test that with pressure effectively? So I got my air regulator, and I've managed to put some air fittings into it, and I can just control like 40 pound into it, 30 pound, 40 pound, and see if it does anything. Could be a waste of time, but we shall have a go. Alright, I've got to get the air hose and hook it up. Can't show you too much. I'll try and sit you where you can see. I found where you regulate the pressure for the switch, so I took all that out. A 1.5mm drill fits in the air end or into the supply end, and I was a bit brutal, jammed that in and out, and I've been in the top here, and now I can get this to hold that down on there. I've got no air in it, so if I put air in, I'll try and put a little bit of air in there. Bit hard to. So there's leaking. There's roughly 40 pound. Now I can push that down on there. Oh, it's less than that. It's only 20, just 20 pound at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll put the unit back together if I can. Got lots of bits here, and see if I can set it with the air. I don't know what they're set at normally. Probably 20 pound or something like that. Be pretty low. Just wind this in and out until I can turn it on and off, see if it's going to work. Certainly didn't do that before. So 20 pound, it's still on. And that's right up to 80, didn't want to come off. So it's not a good switch. Oh, there we go. Well, it's not where we want it. No, it didn't do anything at the moment. What have I done? I think the switch is sticking. Wind that down a little bit. Put that there. See, there's 80 pound and it doesn't turn off. Yeah. Let the pressure off and see if it comes on. Nope. It's not the best of switches. I think we need another switch. Right, they got the better of me, mucked around with the pressure I was showing, and I just couldn't get it to work. So I pulled it to pieces. Well, I broke it on purpose. Camera's not quite focusing on it. Yeah. It's interesting how they work inside. Little diaphragm pushes up on there and makes the contacts, but yeah, this bottom just full of grit. See the moisture in it. So internet, here we come. Shall go shopping. Just order one. I'm glad I found what was wrong though. Blaming everything else, but yeah, this thing here. So, yeah, I broke the plastic out of there. Come to the conclusion it's $20 part. It's not worth running the engine out of oil just because of that. I mean, I could just put a plug in there and not worry about it, but that's not the answer. So yeah, we'll go shopping. Quick overview. So you've obviously sat and watched the video, and yep, tyres are all on. They're only done up loose. They're not torqued up or anything yet. And we got that checker plate finished. It's just, well, I got the rubber glued onto it underneath. Did that. Yeah, it's got some holes in it, but not worried about it. It's all going to look the same when it gets hit. Dinged and dented. Happy with the tyres, with the tread. They're good. I bought these 4 on this axle here off the local tyre guy we deal with. Somebody had taken them off a truck they were selling or traded and put some other ones on it. So I managed to get these. I think they have been used, but yeah, might be just delivery type miles. It's nothing. They are recaps. I'm happy to run those on here. We don't get the heat and I'm not carting big loads. Ice cream's not very heavy when we go and buy one on a Sunday. Might have shown it, got the bracket done on top of the battery box. And one of the other things I did was sat down with the headlights, and I've sorted out the bulbs I'm going to run. I've ordered normal halogen, plus I've gone to LED bulbs, which I'll put in these lights. There's a reason for that, part of our compliance. I'm not sure if it'll go through with just LED bulbs in these lights. I've done it with my other truck and I got away with it, but probably not on this. I'll just stick some normal bulbs in it. Yeah, figured these out. These will go in, but I've just got to trim the plastic a bit. They're the cap for the back of the light, keep the moisture out. So they're going to go in the holders okay. It's yeah, it's going to work. So I'm sort of, yeah, there's quite a bit's happened off camera, just organising and sorting things. Spent quite a bit of time underneath, which I haven't shown anything, and I've zip tied all the lines up, like heater hoses and all up underneath there. Everything underneath's gone through, brackets I've put back on, hose clamps and all that type of thing. Still got no windows in it yet. I haven't hassled the window people. I said to them, no hurry. They've made the glass, but yeah, they just got to come and put it in. And they're pretty busy in there where I deal with them. Nothing's happened up under the engine here on the driver's side for us. Lots of wires hanging. And yeah, if I can get another oil pressure sensor switch, and that eliminates the oil light on all the time, which that was the problem. There'll be one less thing to do. Just got the water temperature gauge and engine control side of it for the fan to come on and off. I can do a manual. I've got that part working, but I haven't got the auto part. So overall, bit of a walk around. We're getting there. So with that, I'll end this upload, and yeah, we'll see how long it takes to get the next one up. Could be a couple of weeks. I know it's been about 2 weeks for this one. As I said, I haven't got a lot of time to work on it at the moment. So bad weather's coming. There'll be more time in here, and I can do some of the finer bits on it, especially with what I've ordered. Parts will turn up and I'll be able to finish things off. So with that, I'll end the video, and thanks for watching.